Hello, my name's Adrian. Welcome to my very quick rapid fire top 10 questions about how to choose courses of study at the Sixth Form College Colchester. This is mainly going to focus on A-level and related courses at level 3, as they say. I will talk a little bit as well about the Advanced Foundation programme as I go through. Question 1, how many subjects, A-levels or similar courses, how many should I do? The answer for the overwhelming majority of our students, and indeed across the country, is 3. Certainly that's what universities are looking for, and so on. Some students will come to us and we'll do 4, and that's a big job, clearly, and that's something we need to consider carefully. There will be students, for example, who come to us and are doing a further maths route who will take 4, or students who come to us with a very good profile at GCSE, a significant number of 7s and above, who will talk to us about doing 4 subjects, and that's something we can consider at interview, and that's an option that's there for a number of students. When you fill in the application form, there are 4 subjects on there. That's just to give us some things to talk about. Normally at interview we would end up working for most students that down to a list of 3, and that will carry people, that's in many ways the industry standard that will carry people on into all sorts of universities and jobs and so on. Question 2, do I have to take certain subjects? Maybe you do, and depends what you want out of the whole process, really. If you have your eye on particular goals, you want to move into medicine or veterinary science or physiotherapy, or you want to be an English teacher or something like that, clearly there are going to be certain subjects that you have to take. For something like medicine, there's quite a specific list. For many other students, they are going to come and they are going to take 3 A-levels. It's a broad academic education, and they're going to move on into all sorts of things from there. Many universities, employers and so on are looking for 3 good A-levels, as it were, 3 good courses, rather than that they're looking for specifics. And so it's something you need to research before you make your final choices, and it's something you need to talk to us about, which is why we ask you when you apply if you have particular plans and so on. I think generally sometimes people argue, oh well, you have to have a foreign language, or you have to do maths and so on. It does depend upon exactly where you want to go in life. Question 3, what if my subjects clash on the timetable? You may well, when you chose your GCSE options, there may well have been a system where, oh well, if I take history, I can't take another thing from that block because it clashes and so on. That isn't really the way it works with us. I mean, I've said elsewhere in other presentations, we've got a dozen psychology teachers. So on some of our subjects, there are probably 4 or 5 lessons running at any hour of the day in that particular subject area. And the size of what we do gives us the flexibility to say to you, pick the subjects that you want, pick the subjects that are right for you, and they'll work on the timetable. Question 4, how do I find out about subjects? We've worked hard on this. There's a lot of information on our website and in the prospectus. There's also on our YouTube channel a range of short presentations that will help you get some sense of how subjects work and what they involve and so on. We also, across the year, run various events, induction and open evenings and taster days and so on. And even in these kind of difficult times in terms of organising public events, we'll do what we can to ensure that people can find out as much as they can about the subjects they're going to do. The other thing you can do is talk about it at interview and get a sense of what they involve. Question 5, for many people, the big one, what grades do I need? There are a broad set of entry criteria to come through to A-level, and that's that people have passed between 5 and 7 GCSEs at grade 4 or above. But I must stress to you that's a minimum expectation. Employers, universities, people would look at your GCSEs forever, so it's not just a case of, oh, I got through the door, I got to the next round, I'm through to the judges' houses. You've got to, these GCSEs will stay with you forever, like a tattoo. And so you need to do as well as you can, but that's our standard entry criteria for entry onto the A-level programme. On top of that, different subjects will ask for different things. So for example, the head of chemistry will say to us, well, look, we need in the room on the day for lesson 1 people who've got certain skills in maths. And then we'll build on those skills as we go through the course, but we need those initial skills to be in place. So, for example, that's why for chemistry, you need a grade 6 in maths. There'll be many departments will ask for a grade 5 in a predominantly written subject. So an English or history or religious studies or sociology or something like that needs to come through at GCSE level at least grade 5 for quite a wide range of subjects, because they want to see a level of written skills in place. So it's important we think about these things. They're all in the prospectus. You can look at the entry criteria for each subject, and I recommend you have a think about that, talk to people at school, look at your reports, look at your predicted grades, and go from there. Question 6, what's the difference between an A-level and an advanced diploma? One of the things I keep saying on these presentations is I keep saying things like A-level and associated courses or something a bit awkward like that. That's because there are a range of subjects that we offer that are offered in a slightly different way to A-level. They're a slightly different qualification, and now the advanced diplomas. When I talk to people about them, I say they're the same size, they're the same shape, they're the same weight, as it were, the same university points as the A-levels. But it might be, for example, that you come to us and you decide to do history and biology as A-levels, but you do, let's say, criminology, very popular course for us, is offered as a diploma. And so, if you're applying through to Essex University or all sorts of other places, they will say, well, have we got 3 courses? Yes, we've got 2 A-levels and a diploma. That's fine. And so these courses, do the same job, but they do it in a slightly different way. And the most significant difference is that they are more coursework based. There are still exams involved and so on, but they are more coursework based, and you get the points as you go through. A-level is offered in a sort of quite a traditional way these days across the country. It's more like the kind of courses that I did when I was at school back in a distant century. You study for 2 years and you do exams and homework and things like that, but your big exams, they come at the end. On a diploma, you pick the points up as you go through, and there's more of a role for coursework, and that really suits some people. Now, you have to think quite carefully. There are going to be some routes for some people where it'll be more appropriate for them to do a traditional 3 A-level course, but for many people, they will come to us and they will do maybe 1 diploma. I think doing 2, I don't know, you'd have to think about that hard, because then that's quite a lot of coursework for a person, but they will do a diploma as part of their programme and move through to all sorts of universities and employers from there. Do all of my subjects need to relate directly to my career plan? Often I sit with people in my office and we're putting together a programme of study and so on, and it's like it's a wrestling match. They've made a decision they want to work in forensics or marine biology or wherever, and they're really trying to fit every A-level they do into that career plan. They're going to join the police, and it's how will each of these qualifications, how will that help me directly get into that field? And I think that it's important we remember that A-level is a general field of study. Many organisations, let's take the police for example, will look at a programme of study and say, does this person have 3 good A-levels? Have they done 3 subjects? Have they done well? Great. And so there is an opportunity for you to say, well, I'm going to study geology or any other subject because it looks really interesting and that's what I want to do, and it doesn't necessarily have to bear directly upon a specific career plan. There are specific career plans where you do have to think quite carefully. The classic example here is medicine, but for many people who aren't quite sure, who have got a slightly broader sense of where they want to go, there's a wide choice of A-levels open to you, and all of them will move you forward and get you, into all sorts of career paths and so on. So I suppose what I'm saying is there is an opportunity for you to kind of follow your soul a little bit and do the thing that you think, yeah, that looks really interesting to me, even if it doesn't directly relate to a specific career path. It's part of a general education. Question 8, what if I don't get the grades that I need? In my work, I think these are some of the hardest conversations I have with people who haven't quite got the grades that they needed in this or that subject to move forward to where they plan to go. I think it's important we think about entry criteria. Entry criteria are there for a reason. It's not us being sort of mean or unpleasant in any way. It's us saying, look, these are the things we really need in the room on the day. These are the skills that you need. I'll go back to chemistry and use it as an example just because I know a little bit about that. But, you know, it's something like 40% of chemistry that involves some kind of mathematical skills. So we need that maths. And so it is important that people reach a certain level at GCSE in order that we can build on that as we move on. And over many years, you know, we've thought about these things and worked with lots of students to reach a point where we're saying, yes, this is where we need to be. Now, what we offer a big provision, and so often it's that we can say to people, well, look, we've not quite hit the entry criteria for this, why don't we think about that? And so there will be people, many people, who will you know, on results day, we will talk to them. We have a big team of people in on results day to talk to people. It may be that we tweak or we make some adjustments. Often, generally, it's not quite come through where it needs to be at GCSE, and people maybe have been ill or something's happened, and they should be moving forward onto what they call level 3 courses, but they just need to do a little bit more work and kind of tidying up that GCSE picture. And we do at that point talk to some students about our advanced foundation programme, and some will consider maybe spending a bit more time doing either looking again at some GCSEs they've done before or doing some new courses at that level, just to build that picture up for whatever reason before people then move on. Question 9, additional studies. This is maybe in some ways one of the more confusing aspects of what we do for people who apply, just because there's so much of it. When I go around to assemblies in schools, I say, well, there's, you know, here's the A levels, here's your 3 A levels, that's your main course, that's your meal. But then the additional studies is us talking about kind of side dishes, extras, and so people will come to us and they will maybe say, well, you know, let's play some five-a-side football, or I'm going to play some volleyball. But they might also say, and I could do maybe an extra qualification in something like core maths or finance, just for a couple of lessons a week, just to kind of help me with the biology or the business studies that I'm doing or something like that. And so it's that range of extras, and these will vary. I am sure in there will be something. You know, I'm certain for every student, whether they want to do something in performance or music or sport or whatever, we will work with students to try and find something as an extra to the core, to the you know, the main meal of the A levels and diplomas that they're doing. There's a thing called the additional studies booklet. It's on our website. There's a huge range of things in there that you can have a look at and think about doing. Often we don't sort the details of the additional studies until people come to us enrol. That's when we finally kind of nail down the details. And I guess the important part of our application processes is we get those A levels and diplomas and so on right. But additional studies are great. They're a really significant part of what we do. We really value them, and they are, you know, very much worth thinking about as you go through. Here's a question that I get a lot, you know, can I change my mind? I mean, clearly, you know, these are big, difficult decisions. There's a lot to think about. The subjects that you apply for, that's just the things you put in the application form, that's just a starter. That's just a start of a conversation, and many of those will change at interview. We should try at the end of your interview to have you leaving with a definite sense of these are the subjects that I'm doing. But there will still be points beyond that where people make some changes. Often they will come to us and they will come in for induction or enrolment, or even maybe in the first couple of weeks of term, where people will make changes, and we will always do our best to be flexible. It may well be that, for example, people come to us and need to make changes once their results come out, because they didn't get exactly what they needed for this course or that course and so on, and we have to make some amendments. I think the thing that's worth saying is that try and get it right wherever you can by the interview, because once we're through the interview process, it's sometimes the case that we close courses. And so if you come to us and you say, I want to do psychology, and we offer you a place in psychology, then that place is yours. You've got a place in psychology. Get the grades, get the entry criteria, you are in, it is yours. But once you've been through that process, it's often the case that we'll say in some subjects, look, I'm sorry, we can't take any more people in psychology. We've been through that process. We've offered it to the people who applied as part of their interview and so on. Sometimes some subjects are a little bit difficult to pick up later, but there'll be plenty that are still open. So there's always options if there are areas where you think, no, I want to have a little look at my courses again. Well, there we go. I hope that helped. Please do that. There are lots of information on the website, in the prospectus, on the YouTube channel. But if there are specific queries you've got about the applications process or choices or so on, please do feel free to contact us at the admissions department on the email address just on the screen there. Okay, thanks very much. Bye.